Hey, Steve Magnante here at High-Octane Classics in Auburn, Massachusetts with another high-octane, well, not muscle car walk-around, but maybe a sports car walk-around. This is a 1969 Mercedes-Benz 280 SL. Now, the SL, of course, arrived in 1963 and was produced through 1971 in three different types, the 230, the 250, and the 280. And those numbers designate the displacement in liters, 2.3, 2.5, and 2.8 liters of each engine. They're all inline sixes, mechanical fuel injected, potent engines, but by 1969, when this one was built, the 2.8 liter motor had 136 horsepower. It doesn't sound like much. In the supercar 60s, it wasn't a lot, but with that said, these are fairly light cars. And speaking of light, the term SL is German for sports leicht. I'm not a German professor, but light as in aluminum on the doors, the hood, and the deck lid. Those things are not magnetic, and I'll prove it to you right here. Here's my little paint safe magnet. We'll put it here on the door. And if this was a max wedge car, like a 64 or 63 race Hemi, this would be a non-magnetic surface. So again, this is aluminum here, but steel on the fenders. So with that said, Mercedes-Benz invested where the weight reduction would do the most with the bolt-on body panels. Now this one here is a pretty unusual car. It has a 4-speed manual transmission. About 20% of these things by 69 were stick cars. The rest were automatics, as these were getting more to a luxury mode. Again, this is the first Mercedes-Benz right here, the SL class, with factory-installed radial tires. We have them right here, 14-inch radials front and rear. And another classic Mercedes-Benz styling touch is the color-matched hubcap, or the wheel cover, if you will. Beautiful design, showcasing the TriStar Mercedes-Benz logo. Let's look inside. And inside this 280 SL is the very uncommon, only 20% built, 4-speed manual transmission right here. And if you're familiar with the Chevy 409 cars of 62, 63, this is very similar to the Swizzler stick shifter of those factory 409 Chevys and 327 cars. Kind of a goofy looking, it looks like you could bend it if you worked it too hard, but again, very efficient, very effective. And again, the 4-speed manual transmission, pretty uncommon, only like in 20% of all SLs built in 1969. And of course, like all SLs, it's a 2-seater, no back seat in these things, and beautiful dashboard inside, padded, of course, German accent on safety. The 140 mile an hour speedometer is maybe a bit optimistic with 136 horsepower and only 2,800 pounds to propel. This would probably be a 110, 120 mile an hour car on the Autobahn if you had this shipped over there, or on the Mass Pike if you're looking for tickets to go that fast. But again, nice sporting touch. You know, sport, light, sport, 2-seat, light, aluminum doors, aluminum hood, aluminum deck lid. Suspension on these cars was independent all the way around. Kind of weird in the back though. These have swing axles in the back, not like a Corvair, but basically the differential is bolted. It's a 2-piece differential, kind of like the 190 previous cars. Those are actually saloons and SLs, the 190 series before 63. Those were Mercedes early sports models. But they had basically a swinging rear axle with the differential that was pivoted in the middle. Very weird design. I think they call it the Dion. I'm not sure, but anyway, basically independent rear suspension on these, no beam axle, and up front, of course, coil springs, upper and lower control arms. Let's take a peek on the other side of the firewall and check out that inline 6. Like the Mercedes 300 SL sports car of the 1950s, the 280 SL and the 230 and the 250 also have a forward hinged hood. We see it right here. And again, this is aluminum. Very cool, very light. And underneath it, similar to the 300 SL motor, is a ram-tune injected 6-cylinder engine, single overhead cam. Again, here's the intake manifold right here with those acoustically tuned intake runners. Here's a big, generous plenum right here, which feeds this 136 horsepower's worth of intake charge. And these are mechanical fuel injected. Bosch makes these things, they're not electronic. And these things right here, these are the mechanical pump feed lines right here, feeding the injectors, or the injector fluid, I guess the gasoline, into the cylinders. So again, mechanical, not electronic fuel injection. So when you use the gas pedal, what you find is you work the pedal up and down, and basically right there, you can see the throttle body right there responds to your foot and makes the engine go vroom vroom, or putt putt, you call it. So anyway, that's the story with that. Aluminum cylinder head on these, and overhead cam, pretty cool. There's a chain and a camshaft inside of here, and like the cast aluminum valve cover on these right here, the Mercedes Pentastar, sorry, it's Chrysler, TriStar, Mercedes TriStar, visibly seen. Aluminum cast fan, look at that. Not plastic. You know, a lot of cars of this type would have a plastic radiator, or plastic fan, but this is the aluminum piece. seen on a lot of German cars. I'm thinking there must have been a lot of aluminum scrap metal after World War II to be repurposed for automobiles like this. You know, old Dorniers and Messerschmitts that maybe their genes are in this thing right here. So anyway, a beautiful car under the hood and outside. And the great thing about these really is they're a great Sunday driving car, good handling too, and a very low center of gravity, wide stance. And with that much power and this low mass of weight, you know, a fun car. It's not a Corvette, but with that said, this certainly would run with any other Mercedes of the day on a back road and with put a smile on your face at all times. To learn more about this sporty red 69 Mercedes-Benz 280 SL, go to the High Octane Classics website and check out the photo album.